something is shifting in the Selena Justin Hailey universe. And for the first time in a long time, it feels like everything is happening at once. Selena Gomez just dropped a confession that has fans genuinely heartbroken. Justin Bieber is suddenly back in rehearsal mode, like he's preparing for something major. And Hailey's name is being pulled into a conversation she never expected to face again. And the wildest thing, every new update feels connected. Like each move they make is setting off a chain reaction nobody can fully understand yet. So buckle up, because whatever this moment is, it changes everything. Selena's new interview landed with a heaviness that fans instantly felt. And the moment she started talking about performing live, the entire tone shifted. I could hear the honesty in her voice when she admitted she misses the closeness with fans, but not the pressure, not the judgment, and definitely not the feeling of trying to force herself into a pop star mold that never fit her. She described big stages almost like emotional minefields, bright lights, loud expectations, and a room full of people who aren't always rooting for you. And when someone has grown up under that spotlight, it makes sense that stepping back feels safer than stepping forward. The way she talked about award shows was heartbreaking in its simplicity. They make her feel too exposed, too watched, too misread. Acoustic settings, small crowds, intimate moments, those are the spaces where she still feels connected. Touring isn't just performing, it's exhaustion, airports, pressure, and the constant fear that one imperfect moment becomes the internet's favorite punching bag. It hurts as a fan, but protecting her peace is something she's finally choosing without apology. I just hope listening to her opens a real conversation. So tell me, how did this part of her interview make you feel? One fan said, "Selena doesn't owe the world a performance, she owes herself peace." This captures the shift many supporters felt, recognizing her choice as strength rather than disappointment. Another fan wrote, "I'd rather see her happy off stage than hurting on stage, even if it means no tour." That perspective shows how deeply her audience values her well-being over any concert moment. Coming off Selena's raw honesty, the energy around Justin's Twitch Live felt almost jarring, like jumping from quiet vulnerability straight into a storm happening in real time. The moment Justin and Hailey sat down together on stream, fans were glued to every second. I couldn't ignore how quickly the chat lit up the moment Justin mentioned wanting to get away for a bit, only for Hailey to respond that she had work. It wasn't confrontation, it wasn't tension, it was simply two people with different schedules colliding in front of thousands of viewers. But the internet doesn't wait for context. It reacts first, thinks later. Then came the setlist conversation, and suddenly people were replaying that tiny clip like detectives piecing together some hidden message, Justin tossing out ideas, Hailey giving her opinion. It looked like a normal couple moment. Still, because it happened live, every raised eyebrow, every pause, every breath got dissected frame by frame. The pressure of performing in front of an audience is one thing, but performing your relationship is something entirely different. The shift from Selena's quiet boundaries to Justin navigating this loud public live stream was huge. And I couldn't help noticing how exposed everything feels when millions get to watch a split second of your day. One fan commented, "People act like they've never seen a couple balance work and personal time. It was literally a normal conversation." It shows how many viewers felt the moment was harmless and blown out of proportion. Another fan said, "Justin and Hailey weren't fighting, they were planning. People just love turning nothing into drama." That perspective highlights how audiences often overanalyze simple interactions just because they're happening live. As the reaction to that live stream kept swelling, the conversation drifted straight back to a rumor that refuses to disappear. The idea that Hailey is quietly directing more of Justin's career than people realize. The moment timelines began filling with revived headlines and resurfaced quotes, it struck me how fast the internet gravitates toward patterns that feel a little too familiar. I watched clips, comments, and old interviews spread like wildfire, each one making people more convinced that the dynamic we saw on stream wasn't as simple as it looked. And even though nothing in that live stream openly confirmed anything, the way fans connected the dots said more than the footage itself ever could. Hailey has addressed this before, brushing it off as unrealistic and insisting she has her own world to manage. She explained that being present doesn't equal control, and publicly, that's where the story ends. But online, people didn't let it go. Not because of what she said, but because of the way certain moments between them always seem to reignite the same conversation. It's the kind of pattern fans latch onto without needing direct proof, because sometimes the feeling around a situation speaks louder than the situation itself. So, when the rumor made its way back into the spotlight, I couldn't help noticing how strongly people reacted, as if they already believed it long before the conversation resurfaced. One fan commented, "Every time they go live, the same energy comes through, and people aren't imagining that." It shows how some viewers feel the pattern is consistent enough to speak for itself. Another fan wrote, "You can dismiss a rumor publicly, but actions always tell their own story." That reaction explains why so many people revisit this topic, because they interpret certain moments as hints rather than coincidences. By the time the conversation shifted toward the Billboard rankings, the internet was already heated, and seeing Benny Blanco placed above Justin Bieber only poured gasoline on everything that had been building. The moment the list dropped, timelines exploded, because even though both of them have 8 #1 hits, Benny landed 1 spot higher, and suddenly fans were turning statistics into a full-blown battleground. I saw people celebrating, dragging, comparing, rewriting history, and acting like this single placement was some kind of final verdict on who mattered more. It wasn't just numbers anymore. It became personal for people who weren't even involved. The wildest part wasn't the ranking, it was how quickly the internet attached deeper meaning to it. Selena's fans, Justin's fans, Benny's fans, everyone seemed to have something to prove, even though the chart itself explained exactly how the list was calculated. It wasn't a rivalry, it wasn't a secret win, it wasn't even new drama. But the reaction made it feel like the final piece of a puzzle people had already convinced themselves they understood. Seeing the debate stretch across platforms made I realize how moments like this don't stay about music. They become mirrors for everything people already believe about the artist behind it. One fan commented, "People are acting like this list is a breakup announcement when it's literally just numbers." That reaction shows how detached the argument became from reality, with fans turning data into drama. Another fan wrote, "The ranking isn't shocking. Benny's been behind half the hits people forget he even produced." It reflects how some listeners see the placement as logical, not controversial, because they remember his influence behind the scenes. And moments like this always split the room, which is why your take actually matters here. How does this Billboard placement feel to you? Do you think the ranking is fair, or does it feel off? Coming off all that Billboard chaos, the conversation online took a sharp turn back to Selena. And this time, it wasn't about rankings or comparisons. It was about something far heavier, the award show moment that still sits in the back of so many fans' minds. The second her interview touched on performing live, people immediately remembered that night, the lights, the pressure, the way the internet reacted before she even stepped off the stage. I could almost feel that old tension resurfacing, as clips of that performance began circulating again. Not as mockery this time, but as a reminder of what she endured. That show didn't just expose her to criticism, it exposed something more fragile, her vulnerability. People forget she got up there after facing some of the hardest moments of her life. And instead of empathy, the internet dissected her vocals, her expressions, her breathing, turning the stage into a courtroom and her performance into evidence. When she says she feels too exposed on award stages, it isn't dramatic. It's a truth built from experience. Touring is one thing, but performing live while knowing millions are waiting to judge every second, that's a pressure most people can't imagine carrying. So when she talks about intimate acoustic sets instead of huge arenas, it's not a downgrade. It's her choosing spaces where she can breathe, connect, and exist without turning herself into someone she's not. What really sent the internet spinning wasn't some polished performance or dramatic teaser. It was a simple clip Justin posted that somehow made more noise than half the industry. Just him sitting there, relaxed, looking straight at the camera with that casual little, "Hey, alright, let's chill out," while soft music played in the background. No announcement, no message, no context, nothing but vibes. And yet the thing racked up over 65,000 likes almost instantly. I couldn't help noticing how people treated that tiny moment like it meant something bigger, like they were searching the clip for hints he didn't even put there. And suddenly, Those rehearsal whispers didn't feel like noise anymore. Clips of him in the studio, warming up his voice, sitting quietly in front of a camera, those little pieces started forming a picture that didn't need exaggeration. It wasn't chaotic Justin in the spotlight again. It was someone easing himself back into the rhythm of music. That slow, careful reset you can only catch if you're paying attention. And honestly, I felt the difference too, because effort like that doesn't show up by accident. It shows up when someone is ready to reclaim something, one rehearsal room moment at a time. After watching all of this unfold, Selena choosing peace, Justin rebuilding in silence, and the internet turning every small moment into a storm, it feels like we're watching two completely different journeys happening side by side, one stepping back, one stepping forward, both trying to protect whatever pieces of themselves they still have left. And honestly, I'm curious about something only you can answer. Which moment hit you the hardest and why? Not for the algorithm, but because your perspective adds context to a story that keeps shifting every day.